Before we get to my thoughts on Godzilla X Kong: The New Empire, I just want to let you know we are nearly up to 3,000 subscribers. So please subscribe because I'll do something very special for that. I'm not desperate here, okay? It just really supports the channel when it's free. Hello everyone, this is Cretaceous-Zilla here, and I just finally went and saw Godzilla X Kong: The New Empire. The newest movie in the MonsterVerse had just released. Here's me in the cinemas with my Godzilla toy. I brought him along. That was so fun. Awesome night. And yeah, I saw the film. So what are my thoughts on Godzilla X Kong: The New Empire? Well, if you guys are looking for a fun movie with Godzilla and Kong fighting, well, not really fighting, if you're looking for just a fun monster movie, then you get it in this one. I think Godzilla X Kong: The New Empire, or Godzilla Kong: The New Empire, is a fun and quite an awesome entry into the MonsterVerse. This movie kicks ass when it comes to monster action. Just so people know, there won't be any spoilers in this video. This is just my first initial thoughts. I just went to see this movie, so I won't have a lot of, I won't dive things into big details. This is just, a small little thoughts on the film because I just recently saw it. So yeah, I'll definitely be making a spoiler video, but that's probably going to come out when the Legacy of the MonsterVerse reviews comes around, and also my ranking of the MonsterVerse film, so expect spoilers and actual thoughts on the film when those two videos come out. But so far, this is just my overall thoughts on the film when exiting the cinemas. And well, to be honest, Godzilla X Kong was a fun movie. I really enjoyed it. Now, just so to let people know, this is more of a Kong story, not really of a Godzilla story. Godzilla is in this movie, however, he's not in the movie too much. Throughout the rest of the movie, Kong gets all the screen time, and it makes sense because Kong is one of the best characters in this movie. I mean, even Kong has more screen time than the humans do, and I'm not kidding. The human scenes, they're very less. There are not that many human scenes in this movie. For some odd reason, like we get focused more on the monsters, which is what Adam Wingard suggested to us, that there was going to be more monsters than human scenes in this movie, and it definitely shows. Like there was more monsters scenes in this here than in human scenes. So that was really awesome, seeing that this was just a full-on monster action film. As for the rest of the stuff, obviously Godzilla doesn't get a lot of screen time, but he's still awesome in every single scene of the film. Just overall, it was just a fun action monster film, which actually, surprisingly, speaking of monsters, there was so many monsters in this movie that I can ramble on in the video, which probably will be thinking coming out soon, maybe. And that is pretty much describing all the monsters in great detail in this movie, because there are so many monsters in this movie and so many titans in this movie, that I think this probably has the most monsters out of all the other MonsterVerse films, which is even surprising, even tops Godzilla and King of the Monsters and GVK. As for negatives, I don't really have a lot of negatives. However, I think one question that a lot of people have been asking is, what about the villains of the film, especially the Scar King, which I really love the Scar King. I think he's one of the coolest MonsterVerse villains to ever get introduced. However, I do have a bit of criticisms about Scar King, and that is he's not really a huge threat. I know that I'm not going to spoil it too much because the spoiler review is going to come eventually, but I'll mention more about Scar King in that one, and I don't think he's really too much of a huge baddie. Like, he was awesome looking. He was actually quite funny looking, to be honest, in the film, but like, he easily gets like shredded by Godzilla and Kong, to be honest. Like, if he was like fighting against Godzilla and Kong by himself, then he would have gotten shredded. So yeah, he just didn't really scream too much of a villain, except for his evil look and his plans, which I will discuss in the spoiler. But I think the human stuff is alright in this movie. Like, there are actually some good human characters in this movie. Like, I especially like Trapper, which I forgot the actor who plays him, but he definitely does a great job in the role. And some of the other characters from GVK do return in this movie as well, and they're all great as well. But not to be honest, there wasn't really that much human stuff in this movie. So it was just non-stop monster action, which was awesome. So yeah, I'll probably discuss more on my spoiler. I have more to talk about, but I'm going to mention the spoilers. But so far, I just got out seeing it, so I might have to see it a second time to actually give my final full thoughts on it. But this is just, my little ramble about the film before I talk spoilers. So, the spoiler video and my thoughts will finally come out when the Legacy of the Monsterverse reviews are wrapped up. So, April 13th, when I promised Godzilla X Kong to be talked about, that's going to be the spoiler video. That's when it's going to be released. So anyway, I'll see you guys then, and I'll see you tomorrow for GVK for the Legacy of the Monsterverse reviews. But anyway, that wraps it up. Thank you all so much for watching, and I'll see you on the next adventure.